Welcome back to the APA. This is episode 236. I think we're looking at like maybe 256, 257 being the last one.
Man.
Sure we are.
Yeah. So realistically, 270 plus.
I don't know. I've been pretty on my guesses when it comes to y'all at this point. I think I know how y'all roll, but I could be wrong. Who knows?
But is that including ample time for Bant?
Yes.
Well, we haven't introduced the new secondary party, the Fae Protection Agency. That's going to have their own whole arc.
Oh my God.
The whole 30-episode arc that we're going to just sneak in there real quick.
Yeah.
5 Chaos Gnomes.
Yeah. We'll be done by the time Starfinder 3E comes out. It'll be great.
Yeah, it's good to go. We all set.
We're going to try to derail this as often as we can, Adam.
As you do. It's classic STF.
That's a callbacks. Those are classic STF.
Call back to the last episode.
Yeah.
Right. One episode callbacks.
Deep cut there. I don't really know what to talk about.
Speaking of... Oh, sorry. Mine's very quick. Speaking of callbacks, I just wanted to give J Laptop credit because the quote I used talking to Aaron last episode was straight up the inspiration that he gave us.
Oh, nice.
A while back before Mike died.
Gotcha.
Or no, actually after he died, but it was still for Mike, I think.
Right.
Oh, right.
Emily, what you got?
There's going to be a solar eclipse. It will have been done past by the time this comes out. But listeners, I hope if you're in the, United States, you saw it. And it's exciting.
I hope you didn't burn your retinas.
Don't look at it.
It's too late.
in the past.
Well,
you'll
this is an
actively
audio.
it.
What's the
Podcast.
point of this attraction if I can't look at it?
You have to wear the special glasses.
You have to put the box over your head with the little slit in it,
Yeah.
No, they're glasses for it. You don't have to do the whole box thing. It's not like the
but
90s.
you
let's
put
put
on a
Weldon mask.
do the box thing.
All right, you know what? Like you wearing a Truly box on your head?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, it was a White Claw box.
It was White Claw, yes. It
Oh
was.
my gosh. No. That was before we were affiliated?
That was 2019 Dragon Con.
That was a Dragon Con throwback,
yeah.
Call back. All over the place.
Somebody remind me. I'll post that picture because I
Didn't
got a
that
picture
recently
of him wearing
get
it.
posted?
I don't know.
I feel like I've
I didn't
seen that
post it. If it
recently.
did, maybe.
I think
but I
it
didn't
could
post
be
it.
turned into like an emote for the Discord server. I think
Oh,
that
is
could
that
be
it?
fun.
Is that it? Is that
That
what
could
you
be
want?
fun.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You seem real jazzed about that, Adam.
Yeah, totally. This is my favorite picture of me that there is.
Yeah, I
Fun
can
with
tell.
Adam.
It should be a demote.
Oh, man. I feel like even though I did call out when I think that this series is going to end, I also feel like I'm just going to often just delay and drag because, you get to this point to where it's like, okay, like what we're about to do tonight, it sets in some story things in motion, and it's like, there's not much motion left, and so it's like, I don't know. I'm going to be weird for the next 20 episodes, just so you know.
So
You're going to be so coy about it.
What's your excuse for the past 200 and some odd?
Okay,
same.
Emily.
But same.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Like sees like,
Yeah,
That's
that's
how
true.
that works.
That's true. Let's just rebrand again.
No.
Just rebrand. We're gonna
Man,
be the
come on, dude. We exhausted all of our creativy on
Yep.
the backronym already.
And then some.
No, we're going to be the FTS network. We're going to
FTS.
No.
reverse it.
Fuck this shit.
We got
There
fuck
you
this
go.
shit network.
There we go. All right, I'm in.
That actually sounds pretty good. Let's go.
You just had to throw a curse word in there, and I was like, ooh, two.
even.
Dude,
Oh,
yeah.
It's a winner.
E-Robs, go ahead and get on that. All
Get
right.
on that. Thanks. Appreciate it. Oh, Lord.
Man. I don't know. I'm ready to just get into it. How are you guys? Do you guys want a bant? This is a short bant, but let's throw a curveball here. Let's fuck this shit. No.
We do it sometimes. What's that, Josh? What's that?
Gotta get it past.
It's not long
the
enough,
dispatch.
man. It's not long enough.
It really isn't. Let me see.
Just haven't. You
That's what she said.
you got to come at me with a good bant, Adam. Something.
I don't have to do anything.
Yeah, but like
You owe
You
it
do,
to the
though.
listeners, okay? That's what they talk
What's
about.
your
That's all they
favorite
talk
brand
about.
of mayonnaise?
No.
Sorry, I
full
forgot.
well he hates.
Yeah, this is the anti-Heath band at this point.
Sorry. I retract my statement. I had a moment. I
Go the
apologize.
complete polar opposite and talk about dojos and gambling dens. All right.
Yeah.
How about this? I think that Grace and I are going to try to get into watching soccer.
Oh, okay. You in a okay.
Interesting.
Yeah,
All right.
I had no idea where that was going to go.
I was like, sorry,
hard
that's
pivot.
a different.
Any league in particular? Or?
MLS.
Oh, okay.
What spurred this?
The Wrexham show. What's it called? Welcome to Wrexham. It's a
They're in
documentary show.
Wales.
Yeah, I know. She asked what spurred the interest in soccer, and that is what did. It's a documentary show about Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney, who bought a failing football club in Wales, and their goal is to get them out of this like real shit league that they're stuck in. They're one of the oldest football clubs in all of the UK. They have the oldest pitch in all of the UK.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
it's like the community is like so invested into this team, but they got screwed over by some previous owners that totally devalued the team and they sunk down into this really crappy league.
Yeah, they had been relegated multiple times.
Yeah, like all the way down. You know, they had been in like the National League and then got taken all the way down. And so they came in and with some of their Hollywood money is trying to like bring it back up and get the town back and, you know, invested and excited and stuff. And it was really cool, very cool show. And it got us really into the idea of watching soccer. And before we watched that show, we'd been talking about trying to find a sport to get into as spectators, because we felt like that was an aspect of our awareness or like knowledge that we just like had kind of purposefully turned like a blind eye to, and realized that that's kind of silly, that there's lots of value to be taken from athletics and sports and being and watching that. And so we're going to try. I don't know if it's going to work, but we're going to give it a shot. And so we settled on Atlanta as the team that we're going to follow, and we're going to start the playoffs are like start at the end of this month. And so we figured watching playoff soccer would be like the easiest way or most exciting way to get into soccer, you know?
The playoffs in any sport, like as someone who's a big sports fan, but also like I do the same thing. I try to get into new sports. Not that I have any dearth of way too much time spent on sports, but like getting into something right around or just after the playoff starts is a really good way to get there and then be excited the next season.
Yeah, and Atlanta is like currently ranked, I think 5th or 6th in their conference, and so they're not like the best team. We're not just like bandwagoning on the best team, and we also both have connections to Atlanta, and there's no Louisiana teams, and so we're gonna give it a shot. That's
Interesting.
That's my banter for you, Josh, and for the listeners who don't probably care at all about American soccer.
I'm sorry,
But-
I heard
many
my
of them
name.
do.
What's happening?
It's just oops all head shakes over here,
Yeah,
gang.
it's like-
Oops all head shakes.
No, to do a classic Josh. So did you said what was the team or the club that had the documentary?
Wrexham.
Wrexham. Did they happen to hire an American football coach to turn the team around?
No.
In a very charming comedic way.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you didn't catch that? You didn't catch that? It's a
stupid.
What?
Are you talking about Ted Lasso,
Ted Lasso.
Josh?
Did
You're
They
talking
pull
about
a
Ted Lasso?
Yes. Did they do a Ted Lasso?
Yes, in a lot of ways, it does mirror a lot of things about Ted Lasso, and they sometimes reference that show
Josh looks so smug right now.
And they're like, but they only reference it as that show. They never call it Ted
Oh,
Lasso.
really? Oh, that's funny.
And like, I mean, it's funny because
They ain't trying to pay for that.
Well, no, it's not even that. They're like, it's Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney, so they're just being like kind of smug about it, you know.
Yeah.
But they like invite Jason Sudeikis to a game, and they're like, "Oh, this is that guy from that other show," you know, like one of the most successful comedies in the recent years. So
This is Jeb Russo.
but it does have a lot of the same, like, what's important is bringing like the heart and the belief to the club more so than bringing like a specific skill set of, you know, they did like hire a really good coach and a really good club manager and bought in a couple like high value players. You know, they spent money on it, but like
that's the value, is the money and the marketing that they were able to bring to it.
Yep. It's a cool show. You should check it out. It's
Cool.
I've been told it's pretty neat. I may have to add it.
Which
to my
one? Welcome to
Ted
Wrexham.
Lasso.
Well, yes. I was speaking
that
of Welcome.
specifically, but okay.
Yeah.
The other sounds fun too. I like Ryan. He's good. He's a good time. We're on a first name basis.
Oh, good to
Don't
know.
look into it, but
Well,
I
then
mean, like,
why isn't he
according to me,
funding
we
our
are.
podcast like he is bottom
say,
tier
Emily.
soccer clubs?
Yeah.
You're
You
on
should
a
talk,
first name
you should talk
basis.
to him about
There's no
That's
we.
Talk
funding
to
us.
Ryan about the pod and getting us some funding.
You know, I'll talk to Ryan and he'll get with his people, and you know, we'll see. You know, we'll see. No promises.
You should just go through Blake instead, you know. Get her in on it. So
We want Ryan for the guest spots, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how we get the big bucks, you know?
Yep. Okay, banter achieved. It's over 10 minutes.
We did it. Check.
God, stupid. All of us.
Hi, welcome
It's
to the
not
STF,
better
Adam.
when you call it out, Adam.
I know that. I'm not trying to
Classic
make
Adam.
it better. I'm not trying to make it better. I'm just speaking my mind. We left you guys in a hallway on a ship in the middle of the galaxy. Mm-hmm. That's it.
I feel like that's really burying the lead for what
little bit,
actually
you
happened
know?
last episode. So last time we were in a hallway. That was
doing
the episode.
Tornado drill or like what's going on?
Yep.
Technically not wrong, but
Yeah.
But also, there's more
some
to
other
it.
shit
than-
that went to-
also,
yeah.
it's like some context. Yes, he fought some moon giants that were wearing Hebraic
Hebraic robes.
you can do it.
Hebraic robes. Whew, guys, I'm sorry. Just about all of it.
It's gonna be one of those episodes.
It is. But they were obviously, they had been mind controlled or mind wiped by the Civ and those VR simulations. And another moon giant emerged to aid you towards the end of the fight and encouraged you to follow her to a place of respite. Now, before you do that, you did see all these indoctrinated moon giants playing with your valuables in this area of the crates. And
Yeah,
so
I
I
need
would
that back.
be remiss if I didn't give you an opportunity to search this area.
Oh, we do that.
You find your stuff.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, or we'll certainly take his rifle back. Dust off any giant fingerprints off of it, you know, with his robe.
Right.
Like, right where you belong, and then holster it.
Yeah, and Valtressus will grab his staff and kind of, you know, out of martial arts mode now, take the staff back and kind of almost like lovingly like tuck it under an arm, you know.
And Fel, is the signal jammer there as well?
It is, but the dorky giant crushed it.
Stop it.
So Fel goes over and picks up the crushed signal jammer. Is it actually crushed or are you just fucking with me?
It's a little dented, but it still works.
He
It's
picks
not
it up.
crushed, but they shaped it into a butt plug, so it's like an awkward process
The only
getting
way
it
that
out.
you can turn it on is to plug it. So
I mean, that's the way it works.
I'm not doing any of that.
But it's
Picks
a
it up
giant-sized butt plug is the thing.
And
Yeah.
looks at it.
It's like an anchor.
Jesus Christ.
So he looks at it and under his breath says, "Oh, my dear sweet Sigourney James, what did they do to you?
What did you say?
Sidney James.
Oh, my dear sweet Sigourney James."
That's the name of your signal jammer.
Siggy Jammer.
Yeah, we get it, dude.
Thank you. I didn't. Thank you.
Classic
ask multiple
Josh
times.
explaining the
Well, I
joke.
didn't hear you, and
then I repeated it, and
also
you're like,
didn't
"That's
realize-
it."
And then that's it.
No, I said that's the name of your. I didn't realize you had named your signal jammer.
Neither
Hey,
did I
Josh,
until
Adam.
this
Just
moment.
memeing
so-
on us and our fucking
Yeah.
sentimental
Yeah.
weapons.
That mostly.
A little bit.
A little bit.
It's warranted. I understand. You know,
Sweet,
I respect the play.
Sigourney James. Wow. Okay. Cool.
So what about my
It's it.
dented casa?
It's there.
It's no longer dented.
It's smooth.
In fact, it's reverse crushed. You know,
Oh, okay.
it's still ugly as hell, though.
No.
Unwearable.
I feel like you just decided that it's ugly as hell.
I've seen what it looks like. in the
No,
book,
no,
and
you
it's
haven't.
ugly as no, I haven't.
you
It's,
haven't.
it's terrible. It's terrible. It's stupid.
It's just me. I'm the dented Kasatha now.
No.
Okay, let's Adam. Let's get it together.
I believe in you. I put my tiara on.
So Casimir says, "Wait. You have seen the truths in the vision machines, but kept your own minds, as have I. My name is Casimir, and we could be allies. Years ago, my clan of wanderers and seers, called the Crescent Diviners and Worshippers of Ibra, found this starship and made the tragic decision to explore it. We were captured and underwent the horrible visions of the ship's creator. The experience split our clan in two. Those who obey the tentacled ones, and those of us who do not. We still follow our sacred ways as best we can. Our two sides have been fighting ever since, although both sides have fortified their camps so much that skirmishes are now rare. Will you come with me to my camp? It is not safe here, in this hall contested by both sides, and where the tentacled ones walk."
Of course, you assisted us here. We need a little bit of safety and shelter. As you can see, some of us took a little bit harder hit than the others. It is nice to meet you. I'm Ziva. We can become more acquainted when we get to the safe space, yes?
Yes, we can help treat you with those wounds.
That would be very much appreciated. Yes.
Yes, come, those of you that control your minds.
That would be all of us.
Ziva looks over her shoulder. That's all of us, right? We're all good, right?
I'm in control of my mind.
So you guys
You're
can,
not Civ.
so you guys can move over to her, and you see that there's like this.
You know what? Actually, hang on. Fell wants to do a sense motive
Okay.
because, like, we're we're in hostile territory, and finding random ally, he can't help but wonder if it's a trap.
Sure.
So that is a nat 20 for a 41.
You can tell that Casimir is being honest, although you can sense a bit of nervousness being out here in this hallway by herself. It's not typical to go solo, but she had heard the commotion, I guess, and come out to check it out. She's also sad for having to put down one of her former companions.
Okay. Just due diligence and all that.
Sure.
you know?
Yeah. No, I get it. So when you guys all get over there, you see this northern or you see this passageway in the north that's like all jammed up with like crates and storage containers, and it looks like the room is completely filled, but then Casimir, using her strength, starts to push them all to the side and beckons you into the room to the north. And so then you guys, as you move in there, and once all of you get in there, she does put the crates back in place, the barricade back in place. When you get in, you can see that there are astronomical symbols and grooves representing celestial paths carved into the walls, the floor, the ceiling of this large room. An alcove to one side contains several enormous hammocks strung atop each other from floor to ceiling, and there are 3 other giants in this room. Let me kind of show you some pictures of what these look like. So this is Casimir.
Okay.
Looks kind of like Nebula from the Marvel movies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot
Guardians,
of kind of scarification and stuff going on, or
And
something.
These are her companions here.
Okay.
So bald, monk robe,
Buff Daddy Nebula.
Buff
All right.
Daddy Nebula.
Looks a little like Drax from Guardians.
Yeah, definitely.
A little
Yeah.
bit, yeah.
But wearing
blue.
robes. Yeah, Hebraic robes.
Yeah.
So yeah, you see this room, and Oren, you instantly recognize.
Oh yeah, he recognizes every symbol on the floors and ceilings. at this point,
Well,
you know?
yes and no. So you
Oh, really?
you certainly recognize any Hebraic like symbols and
Symbology or
like
whatever, yeah.
and the way the way that they've carved these constellations is very in line with Hebraic worship. But there is some anomalies. Let's roll a mysticism.
Okay. That is a 43.
Okay. You see like a couple constellations, and particularly you see the some constellations within the star system of the Pact Worlds, right? Some known ones. But as you're looking at, like, a couple of them seem a little out of... They seem different. You can't quite figure out what it is, but there's something, like, a little off about them. And there seems to be, like, a star here that shouldn't be, or a star in a different place than it was supposed to be, than as you know it. So it's
Okay.
but it's particularly just the Pact Worlds representations that seem a little
They're
off.
different. So I mean, this would be like obvious to Oren, right? Like so he would be drawn in the room towards these things, and kind of absent-mindedly would just be like, "This doesn't make any sense. Why is this here?" And looking at him. I mean, he also is. I mean, he's wearing a braid.
Right.
I mean, there is no way that any follower of Ibra would be confused as to.
Yeah. So when you
Oren's
speak up,
allegiance.
it looks like Casimir kind of sees you for the first time. Really takes a look at you. Says, "You are one of the inscrutable."
With my whole heart.
Very interesting. And she exchanged some pointed looks with her companions in here. Yes, we are very curious of how you came to be here. But let us patch you up first. Get everybody comfortable. And then we shall share our stories with one another. And so, basically, at this point, you can take short rests, and they all will cast Mystic Cures to get you healed up.
Sweet.
Oh, free heals? Let's
Yeah.
go.
Hell yes,
Take that.
these are good friends.
Resourceless heals?
Don't mind if I do.
I mean, this whole time, this is gonna bother the shit out of Oren. You know, I will spend a resolve though. just to get my HP back.
Right. This all this like touching up all takes 10 minutes total, and they're eager. You could tell that they're eager to speak with you too.
Yeah, I mean, he's dying at this.
I have a question. So we have. Is it like we're in a hurry? We just got 10 minutes and got to talk to him, or? I asked because I have another. If I could take another 10 minutes, I could use one resolve to get my stamina back, but then I could use another 10 minutes, and as part of my theme, I can gain a resolve back.
I mean, yeah, I imagine you're just going to be doing a lot of listening anyway, so there's no reason why you couldn't do that as part of the deal. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
I will kind of give you a little extra description here. This room seems that it was once a chemical laboratory, because you see like a wall panel that has some dispensers on it. And if you were to take any kind of closer look, just, no perception necessary, just looking at it a little more intently, you can see that it like dispenses simple chemical compounds like water and like nutritional paste. Like there's no flavor in it, but it's just like a nutrient dispenser, and
it's the old classic succulent paste, right?
Yeah, it's not even succulent though.
It's the paste that succulent paste is made with.
Yeah.
Right.
right.
And then you also see flavor. like a waste removal, plumbing and stuff like that.
Good spot for a base, I guess, if you had to be trapped here.
They've done a pretty good job here, but yes, like to that point, they're like, let us sit and tell the tales of our stars to each other. How did you come to be on this ship?
Orin is not a man of many words, so he would, as succinctly as possible, explain whatever relevant details, we need to explain on this. I'm not going to sit here and RP. We literally had a recap episode like 2 episodes ago. You know what I'm saying? So there's no need to rehash all that. But
so I will say that
they just need to go back and listen to that episode.
Yeah,
tell the giants
listen to episode 233 of the Apollo Protection Agency, and you'll get the entire story.
or no, they just read Val's journal.
Oh yeah, they can do that too.
His book.
No, but I mean, Orin would. I mean, in the spirit of sharing, and especially these are people that he shares a faith with. He doesn't know them, but there's a connection there.
So to them, they kind of react appropriately as you're telling the story. They act with a fear and sensitivity to the fact that your star system was being attacked, and currently, that you don't even know what the status of that attack is right now. They seem particularly intrigued as you mention anything regarding the Starstone and its removal, and they seem excited but also terrified at the prospect of, if you fail, then they're stuck here, and they really don't want to be stuck here. And so to that point, they'll kind of start talking about themselves a little bit.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, I did want to mention that this is, opening up is a little more than Orin would do, but for him, it's like, this is ordained. What are the fucking odds, right, of running into these, Ibra worshippers on this fucking hellhole, right? Like, this is, Ibra put them here, to help, as far as he's concerned. So
so then they go to tell you kind of their story, right?
Yeah.
The Crescent Diviners were an aspect of our people, of our Hebraic worship, that wandered throughout all the cosmos, studying astronomical events. We found the Ark Prime in our travels and thought such a ship must be explored. It was unfortunate choices that we made to enter this ship. As I have already explained, we were divided by the tentacled ones and their vision pods. We terribly miss our former life of traveling the cosmos. And they have been traveling for years. They're like 200 years old, 300 years old.
How long have they been on the Ark Prime?
They've been on the Ark Prime for about 6 months.
Okay, so like it's not like they've
Yeah.
Okay.
I just wanted to say real quick, I don't mean to, interject too much, but obviously this would have some meaning to Oren for sure, but being a follower of Waden by choice, like this is also supremely fascinating to Valtresses, right? Who's their long lives and exploration and stuff. Like he's just like on the edge of his seat listening to the story as well.
They go on to say that since we've been here, we've been continuing our work the best that we can. We have divination, magic. We have our mysticism. But we are working from memory on our astronomical charts. And they are complex and detailed. And she kind of like gestures to the room and all the constellations and star charts that they have put. And as you know, fellow inscrutable one, Ibra requires science along with their magic. Our data has been taken by our former leader, Ixelo. Ixelo is a powerful giant, more powerful than us. An eclipse giant, in fact. He has
Culture? Can I culture on that, or what? Like, is that or mysticism? I mean, like,
yeah, sure. Give me a second.
Just like basic. Have I heard of an eclipse giant before? Like, is this something that I would know? 43.
Yeah, you'd probably like heard vague stories
But
of them. You
don't-
certainly haven't seen anyone. There's not any kind of like biological study done on
Okay.
them. But the myths about them, they're wanderers as well. They obviously respond to eclipses in a particular way, but you don't know too much
Okay.
in regards to that. And so they continue to say, Ixelo succumbed to the tentacled one's mind control, and he leads at least 4 other moon giants. They are our opposition. We know that there is a cosmological conjunction coming soon.
Or in like just nods knowingly.
I would say that the rest of you, if you want, could roll a perception on Orin on that
Yes. Okay.
nod. Or a sense motive, whichever you prefer.
Oh, cool. I got a natural 20 for a 35.
Got a 40.
38.
What'd you get, Heath?
A natural 20 for a 35.
Okay. And Kuiper got a 38. All right. Kuiper, you noticed that head nod. And so do you, Val, but I don't know how... your lack of history with Orin, it may not really mean as much to you, but Kuiper, his knowing nod, it just there's something about that.
There's something that's not being like said, that hasn't been
Right.
said.
Right, like he hasn't talked to any of you guys about a cosmological conjunction,
Right,
you know.
motherfucker, why don't you give us a heads up on the cosmological conjunction?
And
How long you been sitting on this?
yeah, and Casimir is like, I must say that I do agree that divine providence has brought us together. A Hebraic mystic here Look at these charts. It doesn't make sense. These stars should not align in this way. Something powerful is coming, and perhaps it has to do with that star stone of yours. Perhaps it has something to do with you. Perhaps it has something to do with the tentacled ones. But something big, something major is coming. And we need our star charts. Without them, we cannot use our magic to escape. You see, we have divined that this will be our opportunity to go home. During this conjunction, being at the center of it, we can use our power gifted to us by Ibra to return home.
Yeah, I mean, Oren's like, he's nodding along. He understands and is certainly sympathetic. Dude, for one, being trapped here is just an absolute shit show.
It's just the worst.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
to lose half of your faction as well to Civ brainwashing and constantly be at odds with him as a result of that as well.
Right.
So that I understand, they are marking these incorrect cosmological patterns because of what they are divining.
They are unable to properly scribe the patterns because they don't have their star chart. So they can't fully understand what they're divining and how to achieve what they're trying to achieve because they're using star charts from memory.
Yeah.
But you specifically are noticing some things that make you think about some of the things that you know. And you're seeing some things that they probably aren't. But they need their star charts to be able to make sense of what they're divining so that they can channel their magics to coincide with the conjunction to teleport back home. And their former leader, and now the leader of the opposition, this Eclipse Giant, has those charts. So they want the charts to be able to leave. You probably might want the charts to get a better understanding of what you know.
Sure. So, I mean, Oren would tell, his party, basically, I need to help these people. It's not a request that I'm asking of you all, but I have to do this.
So, Kuiper is looking at these star charts, and this is more so just to get a feeling. But so I have a lot of physical science. So just to be on the cautious side of things, would Kuiper be able to determine that these charts are in fact incomplete, or would this be simply a mystic thing?
Well, I mean, they've told you as much.
Sure,
right?
sure. They have told us as much.
And there's, I don't think there's anything else that you can glean with a physical science check because most of the constellations and most of the things are from distant star systems that
So there's
you've never
nothing to relate
heard of.
to, right? There's no anchor points as far as where it's located. Okay, gotcha. Okay,
I hear you, Oren. So, it seems they need their star charts, and there's clearly something that you know.
and he's giving you an eyeing look, he knows there's something here that you haven't. But in time, that time is not now.
Yeah, I mean, he meets your gaze with a steely gaze himself. You can try, bro, but you're not gonna.
Right. Yeah. Cage recognizes Cage. I get it. Yeah. All right.
Well, I don't see why not. We don't have. This seems to be the best direction. So you have my my assistance on these. Xello,
Yes, Xello.
I will remember it well.
What you all have been here for a very long time, and if Oren says we should assist you, and Ziva kind of looks at because she didn't get the perception earlier. She missed that. I will trust you on this, Oren, but you all have been here for quite some time. You're familiar with the ship. You can tell us what the hell is going on here.
If you did not know, are on what's called the detainee deck of this ship. This is but a small section of this ship, and we have not ventured far from here ourselves. It is too dangerous. Xello is to the south here through several chambers. There's a medical bay directly across the hall from here, with another barricade, though I must say, not nearly as dense or well constructed as ours. Xello likely, can be found in that direction. There is also a museum on this floor. There are many relics in it from presumably the Tentacled One's conquest.
Val perks up.
There are metal Tentacled Ones. Ones that you must have faced already. These are the machines that tend to the vision pods and work to recapture any and all escaped prisoners. But we have managed to drive them away from this chamber, at least. There are some living Tentacled Ones on this ship. They are far more dangerous, and I recommend, if you see them, you turn and run. Now, this is obviously them speaking. They're, they are not as strong as you guys are.
I don't know if you know this, but we are level 19.
Yeah, they have no concept of that, right? And and they've been here for 6 months without proper nutrition and
Sustenance.
Yeah. Ibra's ways are ever difficult to understand. But there is something about you. There is something drawing about you, drawing to you. I don't know what it is, but I must believe that Ibra has provided us both with an opportunity to save our friends and family.
I agree. There's no point in questioning the Inscrutable's methods. But clearly, we are both here for a reason.
What the hell's going on with you, Warren?
So,
Divine providence, obviously.
would you like some succulent paste to wash this all down?
It's just regular paste, man.
That's regular paste, yes.
Absolutely.
It's like getting a plain, cooking, cup noodles and not using the sauce.
Not using the sauce.
No.
Or not using a little flavor
Just
packet.
mildly egg flavored, I guess.
It's also been blended.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. I feel like I'm not maybe not leaning in, but at this point, it's like it's not even a question. For Orin.
Yeah, I
I
don't think there's anything to lean into. Like this is.
It's just like clear. Like it's one of those things. It's like you know, when Ibra hands you a solar mote, you grasp it. You know, and you don't ask why.
It's instinctual.
Yeah, I mean, for Orin, it is. I mean, they're certainly, you know, for them, they are more on
they're more of the studious
scientific side, whereas Orin's it's all feel and
so yeah.
For
Orin,
what it's worth, Ziva's not like crediting this, so she's not worried about this. Like Orin's, yep, I'll trust you, I'll follow you. She's more like, did we notice when he had his little episode, like you had like a moment where you were like struck or whatever? Like, you haven't talked to us about that, right?
We noticed and called him out on it. He's like, it's fine.
He's
we gotta
being
go.
shady.
Yeah,
Like,
okay.
in canon,
Just making
being
sure
shady
I
for
didn't-
sure.
Yeah. Ziva's more keeping an eye on that, you know.
Right. I did want to say, just whenever it wouldn't be interrupting their conversation, once it gets to, you guys are committing to this course of action, right? Via the telepathic bond, which you can tell at this point, Valtressus is still just trying to practice and get used to getting the habit of using it, right? But Orin would hear in his head, I understand that, my opinion is probably the lowest on your totem pole, but whatever you need to do, got you back.
Thank you.
And yeah, Orin, come on, man. Of course.
I never doubted any of you for a second. We have to do this.
Understood.
We have to. Okay.
All right, so what is it that we agreed to?
to go find Excelio and their indoctrinated moon giants and retrieve the astrological charts, so and return them to the Casimir and her crew.
Before I even ask this question, do they look in fighting shape?
Not really. I mean, they're giants, so they're strong, but if they could have done this themselves, they would have,
Right.
and you certainly pick that up. They're not like wounded, but they're malnourished.
Emaciated,
yeah.
Yeah, 6 months
tired,
of eating.
And they being trapped here has made it difficult for them to continue to be in touch with their magic. However, they all seem way more like, as you were talking to them, and your presence here seems to strengthen their connection to Ibra. You can almost see them like starting to recharge a little bit, and that could just be hope that you see. It could be an Ibraic connection. The thing about Orin that I kind of want to touch on is, while Orin is definitely strongly connected to Ibra, he is not a typical Hebraic worshiper, because most Hebraic worshippers are like very much study the science of it, right? And I'm getting
Most
that right.
of them are fucking nerds.
Yeah, it says like, so I have this pulled up because I figured this would be important. So like Ibra's worshippers are, most fervent worshippers anyway, are like astrophysicists and interstellar explorers.
Carl Sagan's.
Yeah, totally, like magic Carl Sagan's,
Yeah.
And the thing is that Ibra offers so little to their worshippers. There's no pageantry, only the occasional magic, and precious little camaraderie. Instead, worship is a personal affair between each individual in Ibra, with a faithful sensing of Ibra's presence between either mathematical symbols or feeling it alongside them as they gaze into the stars. Okay, so Orin is definitely on the star side connected to Ibra and the expanse of the universe and the the mathematical unknowingness, right? As opposed to the magic that lies within equation, and both are very valid sides of Ibra, but we do have two very different approaches with these moon giants and Orin.
Yeah, for Orin, he never really, obviously he's traveled to several temples, but never wanted to stay, right? Because that's just not his faith. It's a different kind of worship. He has, as you said, a very personal connection. Ibra chose him. He didn't seek out Ibra. He didn't really have a choice in the matter. He fought against it for a long time.
And I think it's important to note that the fact that Ibra chose him or anybody is very rare, for Ibra to make such a pointed connection to somebody,
Yeah, but wouldn't say why, obviously.
And didn't make themselves seen to Orin. Orin just felt Ibra in that moment that he died, right? Way back when, if you remember, his ship was boarded by space pirates and he was spaced and he died, and then came back to after Zeno's anomaly purple thing hit him in the drift, and then he came back in and Sedona's ship found him floating in the drift alive.
Right. I mean, there's been an element of implied, at least, chosenness or oneness with Ibra.
With no direction or understanding of what any of that.
Which is how it would be with Ibra.
Right. Exactly.
Literally described as the inscrutable. So just for other deity context, I feel like if you were a chosen of Demoratosh, it'd be a lot more direct.
What they wanted from you.
Go conquer this star system, but the inscrutable one, it's gonna be hard to suss out.
But yet here is this kind of weird coincidence, or I'll even say confluence, right? Conjunction, as is the words that they used of both sides of it, especially in a point where we know that the Star Stone is being affected and causing significant damage to Absalom Station, and also the quantum ray, and the conjunction's already happening, right? That's the start of it has already begun, but it hasn't completed yet, and so it just kind of expands the questions while giving more context, I guess. And so I just wanted to take a second to reflect on that, because that is where we are as you guys make the decision to move forward into the next stage of this, which is to go find this eclipse giant and get those charts. So I guess that's what we'll do now.
Yeah. Right? No, go ahead, John.
Oh, no, I was just saying, would like to kind of take part of that 10 minutes to, do other stuff, if that's okay.
Yeah, by all means.
Okay. Yeah, so while all this information is at the forefront of his mind, something is still kind of bugging Kuiper, that's completely irrelevant to this cosmological conjunction. And that has to do with what he's seen from our newest addition in this party. So I feel like Kuiper would light a Don Juan cigarillo and with Mike's lighter and just kind of pitch up against the wall. I imagine that's where Valtressus kind of is at this moment, and I don't know, I imagine Valtressus is probably just writing down his notes of all this this lore that's kind of going on right now.
Yeah, while the whole conversation with the giants is going, certainly now I don't know if these would be available, but I don't know why very strongly in my image in my head I had Valtressus sitting on a little square cushion, like a little fancy cushion, and just like writing. I don't know why the cushion came to my mind, but and just like scribbling everything he could in his little notebook. Like he is a lore keeper, he's a chronicler, and this is information and stories. In particular, stories are what he's concerned with. So while all that conversation was going on, like he's wrapped. He is zoned in, but it kind of comes down. We figure out what we've got to do. We reach sort of the end of the conversation as far as all the Hebraic stuff, and then so he'd be sitting around on his cushion.
And so, kind of like keeping an eye on the through his periphery of just like kind of seeing him slow down with the writing and whatnot, seeing he seems satisfied with the information that he's written or that he's chronicled. Okay. He kind of just sits down next to him and just, I don't know, he wants to get to know Valtressus a little bit. And he's, one thing that he can kind of relate to is combat. So he seems like that would be the easiest way to squeeze in a conversation.
So, Val. Can I call you Val?
Yeah, absolutely.
I was very interested in the martial prowess you showed back there. It's very strange to see a key adept doing those moves. I've only seen those moves elsewhere, so only one other place. The way you pivot your hips and lean into the strike. Where did you get any? Did you receive any formal training on that?
Oh, I've spent my life finding a combination of formal training and informal training. I've gathered combat knowledge from, the Pact Worlds, near space, and beyond. What in particular might you be referring to? I know we just had kind of a harrowing combat. I honestly am a bit embarrassed. I jumped into a viper's nest, so to speak. I didn't realize how many giants were so closely packed together, and I had to really kind of focus inward and rely on pure instinct to, get through it.
Well, I have to tell you, this crew has made plenty of mistakes, and you can't predict every action that's going to happen, let alone what room is going to appear before you. So sometimes it's just, frankly, a roll of the dice. So
yeah, well, the harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph, as they say.
Immediately picks up on that. The ears perk. Says, I don't think I ever told you, but I don't even think old man Sobak could pull off such a distant cleave. Kind of side-eyeing. Like, where the fuck did you hear that,
If you've got something you'd like to ask, I'm an open book.
do you know of an ancient school on Vesk Prime called the Fangs of the Mortash?
Oh, yeah, of course, yes. I've studied combat my entire life. There's few places in the Pact Worlds more famed for pure, raw aggression in combat, but measured than the Fangs of the Mortash. I actually briefly trained there, but my travels, took me elsewhere.
And immediately his kind of like tone changes, and almost as if like talking to a fellow a cadet is, oh really? Did you participate, or did you just simply observe the welcoming ceremony? Did you get to talk or interact with the old man himself?
Oh yes, I was a student.
Oh, you were a student. I hope you didn't bring your own dashko.
I did not. That's a rookie mistake.
Well, you're in good company here. You know, me and Michael. And he kind of looks down. We both trained at the Fangs of the Mortage. So it's wonderful to be in similar company.
Yes. Well, I've read much about, or as much as I could about you guys, and there was a period where you took sort of a break from saving the galaxy, as it were, and I'd heard rumors about you guys attending the Fangs of the Mortage. I was actually there before you guys ever got there. I ended up earning 2 teeth of the Doshko. I don't carry one, as you can see.
I was going to ask. Interesting.
Yeah, I took it home to my people as a relic, as a historical artifact, and inspiration for those on the Adari that might want to take up the way of the Doshko.
Oh, no doubt they were impressed and proud of you. At least I would hope so.
I hope so too.
Well, I've taken too much of your time. Let's refocus and find this Excello character.
Absolutely. And he crosses his arms in the traditional Talavet, bow.
And he gives him kind of a old Veskarium salute, but without realizing that he's still ingrained in his character.
Right. Nice.
Very nice, fellas. Earlier, John, you'd mentioned that you were noting Zilio's name, Excello's name. Is there something to that?
There is a significance behind that. So, as part of my theme, which hasn't come into play very often lately, is Bounty Hunter. And so with Bounty Hunter, he actually has multiple different ones, but ones that's actually relevant is that I can establish a mark. So now that we have a name for our for our current objective, we got a name of a target. He can now mark that one. This simply allows him to take DCs on checks are easier that are specifically for this target.
You don't have to get into the whole litany of things, but basically you have marked this person as your current bounty.
Correct.
And there are certain
Absolutely.
benefits that you'll get when relevant to that. Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
right.
cool. I just wanted to make sure that was established. And yeah, cool. All right, so lots of information there, lots of background. I do think that without further ado, we can push on at this point.
Yeah.
So they'll send you to the south directly across.
Orin
the hall.
would give them like a formal goodbye, and he would
course.
say, "This infinitesimal time is not to be squandered."
Indeed, be careful. The indoctrinated seem to have held their strength more than us. They are getting better nutrients from the metal tentacled ones.
I see.
I will remind you that these are our people. I will not hold you to keeping them alive. But if you can, it would be most appreciated. I do think that Excello is beyond saving. There will be no bad blood between us, fellow inscrutable one. We understand the sacrifices that must be made. But if you can save them, do. Good luck.
We stare at the cosmos the cosmos stares back at us.
And may the shooting stars push you forward and not strike you in your back. That was the best I could come up with on the fly.
Okay, we'll see it now.
Phil has the same look that I do right now, just kind of like squinty-eyed, just looking back and forth between them.
What's going on here?
They're just like
And
rattling off
they're
Hebraic
just kind of-
aphorisms or whatever, you know?
Like Phil is just kind of like, yeah, okay.
Y'all being too inscrutable here.
It's just like language that Orin would
Yeah.
never use.
Yeah, you
in a
never heard
party.
him speak.
But-
about
because
And
this way.
also
just-
with you.
Yeah. I mean, he's never tried to like
He's not an
push
evangelist.
his religion,
Yeah.
on any of his party or anything, but
Well, this is
obviously is very, very important to him.
like this is a side that Fel knew existed within Orin, but was not didn't really consider all of the everything along that goes along.
Yeah,
with it,
it's like
you
it's
know?
like a full body dunk on Orin's Hebraic nature here for all of you guys, because it had
Yeah.
been something that was very personal to him, and kind of I think kept to himself about it. But
Yeah, I mean, he literally just goes out to space to be closer to Ibra. He doesn't like involve anyone else.
and now you're getting like a full on like
Yeah, it's like finding out your friends got some like super obscure hobby that you didn't know they knew about, but they meet somebody else who's into the hobby and they just start talking about it. Like,
oh, you
linked
play
and they're like,
Warhammer 40k too? What army do you use? I use
Oh, bro, what kind of switches you got in that keyboard?
Yeah, right. Well, yeah,
Right,
okay.
right,
I'm
right.
not going that
Springs,
far,
did you look
Josh. Yeah, no, classic
Oh,
Josh.
that's a bridge too far? Okay.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Look,
All right, let's go.
I didn't
Let's-
wait 5 minutes to say that.
No, you did great. You did great.
no.
That wasn't the classic Josh part. The
The keyboard.
bringing up keyboards.
keyboards.
That's
Yeah.
the classic Josh part. All right, so
But
you
it's
guys,
it's a good way to put it, Josh. I agree.
you moved to the south, yes?
Yes,
Across the
yes.
hall into the medical bay, which is where they, directed you to. And this medical bay, its aqua-colored ceiling of this square room emits an intense ambient light. Metal operating tables, contoured examination tables, and chairs in a variety of sizes and heights clutter the room. Most of them crammed haphazardly against each other. Among this jumble are small tables and wheeled poles containing computers and other medical paraphernalia. Cabinets with vibrant blue doors and no apparent handles line the walls. Several large crates partially block one opening, while the opening across the one that you guys are standing in is clear. So basically some points of interest here. There's the medical cabinets, there's the computers, and there the cabinets though are fully sealed, very similar to the crate that had the rock on it,
Like rail state sealed.
Right, rail
quantum
state
sealed.
right, rail state sealed is the correct answer there. But the computers can be accessed with computers check, all that kind of stuff,
And the rail state ceiling was
Engineering.
opened with engineering?
Yep.
Okay. For some reason I thought it was mysticism.
Go to work, engineer.
Hey, let's do the thing. Let's start opening shit.
Are you going to start with the cabinets versus the computers? Yes. Doesn't make a difference either way.
Yeah,
whichever.
it's whatever. All right, so rolling that engineering.
Okay, so we're going to do the cabinets first. All right.
That is a 42.
Great. You easily manipulate the rail state, and because it's rail state, it's so unpredictable, and you're not a master at this, but you do get it open, and so some like fly upwards like an awning, some are pulled out like a hinge drawer, and then others open like a normal left to right kind of hinged door. The supplies inside are also in equally unpredictable condition, with some good as new and others so decayed with age or neglect as to be useless. What you do find that is usable is 4 life fluid hypopens.
Okay, what does that do? That's
Yeah.
the first time we've run
Yeah,
into
this
those.
is a book specific hypopen here.
Okay.
These are level 16 items. Civ physicians pioneered a ghoulish medical technique which drained, transferred, and suspended the life force of enslaved species into a magical liquid known as life fluid. This fluid could then be used to flood entire medical facilities, creating a restorative environment for Civ patients whose natural healing was stimulated by the drained life force. You
Okay,
recognize this from the medical facility that you guys were in.
Pools that
Yeah.
we're sitting in. Yeah.
So a life fluid hypopen is a one-use device like other hypopens in size and usage, requiring a standard usage to activate. A single life fluid hypopen restores 10 D8 hit points and affects the subject with greater remove condition.
Ooh.
So
Oh,
it's
wow.
pretty good.
So it's really good, but like how it was made is really
yeah.
bad.
Yeah, it also
I
gives
hate
you, 1d12 guilt damage.
Yeah.
Right, yes,
Karmic
right.
debt.
Guys, we're facing the end of the world here. It's they'll have to cut
The
us some
thing
slack
is,
on
like,
that one.
if anything, if you wanted to try and rationalize it, at least this would be going towards a good use.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's
And
there.
and the whatever being or creature was used to create it is not going to have died completely in vain.
So there are 4 of those. Okay.
Oh, we
Still
need
don't
those.
like it.
All right,
I don't
who's
either.
putting it in their inventory so they don't forget? It's not going to be on Hero Lab, so
I'll take one.
Y'all should probably all take one.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Yeah.
mind having one as much as I get turned into the dented Kasatha.
so make sure you
Yeah.
make a note on your, I guess, Foundry character sheets or wherever, because you're not going to find them otherwise. All right, and so now there's the computers.
All right. Computers.
I think that you can auto succeed on this. You have over 30 on your
Yeah,
bonus.
I do. I've got a 33.
Yeah, so you are able to get it going, and it triggers a holographic tutorial videos, all in Civian, of course, for surgeries and other procedures on a wide variety of species. While some of them are clearly curative and benign, others involve radical manipulation, such as lobotomies and amputations. There are also vast libraries of medical charts, but the last entries were from centuries ago. So, there's been some activity here in the last 100 years rather than the last million years. But other than that, there's not a whole lot, other than you can see that you could activate through this computer the ability to fill this room with that life fluid through nozzles in the ceilings, although most of that life fluid is evaporated, so there's not more to be gained. But that's you see that the
A thing that could be done.
Yeah, once had that functionality.
Is there anything, any charts? You're talking about the medical charts and stuff. Is there anything on moon giants?
Like what?
Well, I'm just thinking their physiology, I guess.
Yeah,
just
any
like their
questions basically
their
from our
organ
check.
placement.
Well, you guys pretty much found everything, knew everything, anyways. There wasn't anything else to learn about moon giants.
I'm thinking more like, and I'm just
But
going to
this
flat
isn't-
out say it. Looking for a potential bonus of some sort while we fight against them.
Right,
Knowing of some type of weakness or weak
So
point, or
it's more. The information that's in here is more in regard to surgeries and other procedures rather than straight biological reports of them. And considering that you already have some bonuses against, well, I guess that's only against civs. It's not really against. I don't know. I don't want to say no to this, but there's just nothing there. I mean, I'm not going to just give you free +1 against all moon giants. But
sure, but like if we're digging through, looking at it.
I tell you what I
pull
will
up
do.
charts about it. Can we
What I will do, it will give you a +5 bonus to whoever does the recall knowledge check on the Eclipse Giant.
Okay.
I will allow you to take a +5 bonus when you encounter the Eclipse Giant.
Okay.
Right? Sound
Cool.
good?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So yeah, that's everything that's in this medical bay, and you see, indeed, there is another barricade, but this one is left open and not nearly as attended as Kesmir's was. It looks almost in a bit of disarray. You can move your way to the south there and kind of work your way through. And I'd ask, you guys can go into the next room, but don't go more than 2 squares in. What you see in here, this broad rectangular room is awash in mangled debris. Chunks of plastic and metal that may have once been furniture lie in piles throughout the room, entangled with an occasional remnant of foam or fabric. Sections of the wall are dented as if from mighty impacts. Undamaged sections of the wall present holographic murals of swamps filled with dense trees, thick vines, and towering ferns. All this fauna is red as a result of the deeply indigo lighting from the intermittent wall sconces, shaped like torches. A roughly textured floor, also red, is visible beneath the debris, and you recognize this to be almost a recreation of the swamp-like area that you were in when you went to the party in the civilization. When you guys kind of step in there, a brilliant flash of red streaks across the room center and then splits to reveal a horizontal vortex of light that swirls like a yawning black hole, threatening to pull you to its crushing center. And we'll see you.
Yeah, I figured that was coming.
Gonna nope on that, big dog.
Black hole, nope. Gotta go.